Muchos de los problemas que tenemos.
Many of the problems we face are cultural problems.
Organizaciones criminales en todo.
Because there's so much organized crime.
En una cultura donde hay corrupción.
Among a culture where there is so much corruption, what happens is that people start trying to find an easy way of making money.
Petroleum and narcotics brought easy money.
When people seek after money, they become corrupt.
Colombia ha pagado un precio alto.
Colombia has paid a great price in deaths, blood,
murder, bombings.
Many widows, orphans.
Many people are kidnapped.
Corruption was so deep-seated, people thought there is no other way.
So it became something cultural here.
For many years, what we did in our country was to close and lock the door, throw away the key and forget about them. We thought they were just monsters that we could not change.
No dignity in the prisons. Prostitution, gambling, drugs.
Life was of no value here.
Las muertes violentas.
We were having a prisoner murdered daily, one a day at least.
Prisoners in the past here in Colombia kill people. They cut off their heads and play football with their heads.
There was a problem with the water sewage. They found there was a head skull in the sewer system.
And even the prisoners were armed. Those bullet holes there in the windows were because of a riot and violence that happened.
Because of the money that was flowing in the prisons, it developed so much corruption amongst the guards.
Guards are in prison too.
The guards actually were the bad people.
And their hearts are very hard too.
The guards were the problem.
A lot of guards treat prisoners as slaves.
Este estudio encontramos.
We did a study and found out that our prison system was the most corrupted of all in our institutions in the Colombian government.
The solution for Colombia is in the cultural change. In fact, it's the solution for every country.
La Red Business Network es una organización de entrenamiento.
The Red Business Network is a training organization.
The Red is really a transformation organization,
which is teaching people in principles and values in order to transform a culture.
Prosperity is directly linked to character.
We reproduce what we are, not what we say.
Business prospers under the right culture.
If you have a system that is built upon murder, you're going to reproduce murder. If you have a system that is built upon character, you're going to reproduce character.
Character is a behavior that becomes self-governed.
Nuestra estrategia son.
Our main strategy are the round tables.
The round table is a time where it's 1 hour a week.
Small settings where people can get together and discuss a specific principle.
It's 5 or 6 or 7 associates.
Por eso fue que me timbró el celular. So right now what we are doing is reading the principle for this week. Then, in order to understand the principle, there's an activity.
And they are talking right now about how to listen.
When I experience actually doing something, I can understand it much quicker.
We also talked about how we feel when we are interrupted.
And then they measure themselves, how they feel that principle works in them.
My weakness in this principle is that sometimes I don't appreciate or value others.
And it's a discovery.
We learn from each other.
It started as business, with business principles to business people, but it can be to anybody.
The biggest program up to this moment is the Impact program.
Sistema penitenciario en Colombia.
The prison system in Colombia realized that they had to change their culture.
First I thought, prisons, we're not in the prison ministries.
Dr. Karina was the first person to see that you don't change a prison system with bricks.
La Red nos daba una.
La Red brought a proposal that caught our attention, because they were proposing a change that was starting from the person and from the inside out.
The program, they are not rejecting because we begin talking about principles and values.
comenzamos a hacer inmersiones.
We started doing what we called immersions with the administrative personnel and guards.
Para cambiar una cultura,
A real culture transformation starts with the leaders.
One of the fascinating things about this story, this true transformation, it was not the prisoners that we were working with.
Most programs focus on the reformation of the prisoner. That's why we have reform schools or reformatories. We reform the prisoner. They had agreed to train 11,000 of those guards to see if they could change the spirit of the system.
And they would start the training of all the other guards.
And then that caught on. And so when the guards went through the program, it changed the guards so much that the prisoners said,
I want what you have.
They started writing letters to the director of the prisons
Begging and asking him that they wanted to receive the same program.
because they were witnessing a different treatment for them.
We saw guards asking forgiveness in front of our eyes.
Then it wasn't a matter of building new buildings, it was a matter of changing the heart. And that was why Lored was brought in as part of this Compromiso project.
I ended up stealing a car.
I am here because of falsification of documents and money laundering.
I was a salesman of drugs.
I was sent here because of kidnapping.
Incluso llegamos a un punto.
It came to a point where we would allow one prisoner to come in and join the training that was going on.
From there, they started talking out these principles among the other prisoners.
One prisoner, he began by his own in 8 blocks.
Iniciamos con 56 personas.
We started with 56 people that were brought from the different cell blocks. Each one of them became a leader because Project Commitment in reality started changing the way they were thinking.
con este programa a 24,000 internos,
we were able to create a strategy to take the principles to 24,000 prisoners.
This morning, we were just opening the program to this prison center for women.
Esta mañana cuando Jesús preguntaba,
This morning, as Jesus asked the question, how many of you would like to change?
pregunto, ¿quiénes realmente quieren cambiar aquí?
In them there is a real deep pain.
En el día de hoy fue algo muy maravilloso en mi vida.
What happened today was something very beautiful here in the prison for women in Bogota.
But what will really set people free is that people will learn another way of thinking.
We have found that it's very important to have a foundation and how important are principles.
Because the principles we had on the street were just to make people pay, sometimes to pay with blood.
Entonces, cuando uno cae en ese tipo de extremos,
So when you get to that extreme, what happens is that you become an extremely excessive person.
Because of the evil I've done to many people, so all that evil came back to me.
Si yo hubiese sabido.
Had I known these principles before, let's say, 9 years ago, I would not be today here if I had known this before.
They understood that what they had sown in life is what they were reaping in life.